Are you ready to unveil the history of cultural issues that shape the world we live in today? I am Angel Ms. Aldebaran, and welcome to a journey through time, exploring the lasting impact of colonialism on Spanish, American, and Japanese history. It is a journey of cultural exchange, change, and connection. So, explore with us to gain more understanding and unfold the stories of colonialism's legacy where the past meets the present and the truth revealed. First, let's look at religion. Spanish colonization brought Roman Catholicism to the Philippines, which became an essential part of Filipino identity. Today, most Filipinos are Catholic, and religious festivals are important celebrations. While this faith provides community and support, it can also lead to strict social expectations. Issues like the influence of the church on government policies and personal freedoms continue to spark debate on modern society.
Did you know that the Spanish colonization led to the blending of Catholic saints with local gods, creating new festivals that mix both traditions? This cultural fusion became a vibrant aspect of life in the
Next, we focus on language and literature. The Spanish enforced their language, which pushed aside local dialects. A key example is the Sarazal novel, Nolen with Tanqueray. It was written in Spanish, limiting its reach. The novel wasn't translated into Filipino until later, reflecting how colonial powers suppressed local voices. This bias still impacts us today, as many Filipinos feel disconnected from their own literature and history, highlighting ongoing struggles for cultural identity.
literature. Did you know that the first novel written in the Philippines was inspired by Spanish stories showing how colonization influenced local sectors? This literary emergence marked a significant shift reflecting the deep impact of Spanish culture on Filipino literature.
Now, let's talk about gambling, particularly cockfighting or sabong. This tradition comes from Spanish influence and remains popular in the Philippines. While cockfighting can bring people together, it also raises concerns about gambling addiction and financial issues. Many families still face the consequences of these practices today, as they can lead to deeper social and economic challenges.
Gambling, specifically cockfighting. Did you know that cockfighting was a major social event during Spanish rule, where people would gather to bet and enjoy their fights together? It became a lively communal activity, bringing people together in excitement and camaraderie.
Finally, we look at courtship. Spanish influences shaped how Filipinos approach romance. Traditions like harana, where a suitor serenades their love, emphasizing respect and family involvement. While many of these customs are still cherished, modern relationships sometimes clash with traditional values. This creates confusion for young people trying to balance respect for traditions with contemporary dating practices.
Courtship. Did you know that the Spanish colonizers brought the custom of serenades where men could sing outside a woman's home in her heart? This romantic practice added a melodious chant to courtship, enchanting many hearts in the garden.
In conclusion, Spanish colonialism has significantly shaped Filipino identity through religion, language, gambling, and courtship. These influences remain relevant today as they bring both pride and challenges to Filipino society. Understanding this history helps us navigate the complexities of our culture and identity in the modern world.
The American occupation of the Philippines from 1898 to 1946 left a lasting impact on the nation's culture, shaping its educational system, fashion sense, sporting landscape, and political landscape. This report explores the influence of American culture in these key areas. So first, we have education. The American colonization of the Philippines brought significant changes to the education system, replacing the Spanish colonial model with a modern and secular one. This new system emphasized English language proficiency, science, and democratic values, fostering new generation of Filipinos with access to Western knowledge. While this led to expanded access to education and establishment of higher education institutions, it also resulted in the suppression of indigenous languages, cultural assimilation, and educational inequalities. The legacy of American influence on Philippine education continues to shape the country's cultural landscape and identity, highlighting both the benefits and challenges of colonial legacies.
Education. The first public school in the Philippines, established in 1901, was named Escuela Normal de Manila, which later became the prestigious Philippine Normal University.
Second, we have fashion sense. The American colonization of the Philippines significantly impacted our fashion, introducing Western attire and modernized local style. While this brought about diversification and global connections, it also raised concerns about the loss of traditional Filipino garments like the barong Tagalog. However, in recent years, a resurgence of traditional Filipiniana clothing has showcased a renewed appreciation for the country's cultural heritage. Balancing global influences with the preservation of cultural identity remains a key consideration in the evolving fashion landscape of the Philippines.
Fashion sense. The Barong Tagalog, a traditional Filipino mansion, was initially seen as outdated during the American occupation. However, it experienced a revival in 1960s, becoming a symbol of national pride and a popular choice for formal occasions.
Third, we have sports. The American occupation of the Philippines introduced new sports like baseball, basketball, and boxing, which became immensely popular in our country. While these sports promoted American values, Filipinos embraced them and used them to express their own identity and national pride, creating a unique blend of American and Filipino sporting traditions. This cultural hybridity continues to influence Philippine sports, with Filipino athletes excelling on the global stage, particularly in basketball. The enduring legacy of American impact on Philippine sports reflects a complex interplay between colonialism, resistance, and cultural adaptation.
Sports. The Philippines national basketball team, Gilas Pilipinas, is known for its passionate fans, often referred to as sporting man. This passionate support stems from the deep love of basketball that Filipinos developed during the American era.
And lastly, we have politics. The American occupation of the Philippines following the Spanish-American War brought about significant changes in the country's political landscape. The Americans established a centralized government, introducing a democratic principles and institutions, and promoted English as the official language. This period sparked Filipino resistance and nationalism, leading to the Philippine-American War and a struggle for independence. Despite limited political rights for Filipinos and economic exploitation by the Americans, the occupation eventually paved the way for Philippine independence in 1946. The legacy of American colonial rule continues to influence Philippine politics, shaping the nation's path to self-determination and national development.
Politics. The Philippines' first president of the Commonwealth of the Philippines is Manuel Quezon, was a strong advocate for Filipino independence. He famously said, "I would rather have a government run like hell by Filipinos than the government run like heaven by Americans." This quote reflects the relationship between the Philippines and the U.S. during the transition to independence.
There are such influences of Japan give certain impacts for Filipino art today. The areas of karaoke, tempura, makeup, and architecture. Karaoke, an influential aspect that it is usually performed by many Filipinos. The issue of karaoke spreads out especially during celebrations like birthday, fiestas, and many more. Its effects spreads out especially during times when it comes to rejoice. Its impact shared towards everyone. No wonder why our neighbor kept singing non-stop, and somehow created a noise that would distract a few.
Architecture. As you have noticed, such structures and houses from Japan paved way to its durability and beauty. The Filipinos adapted these houses, especially with its advancements, that would create a practical and stronger houses. At the same time, this would slowly refrain from the usage
Of the traditional houses of our homes that continue to evolve.
makeup. Japanese has a very unique way to express their cosmetic art, especially when it comes to makeup. Their facial cosmetics created a significant change to Filipinas, as it made a standard to how to make their skins lighter and fairer. In this way, it prompted for some to refrain from their original skin tone and beauty, but rather adapt to the style.
Aren't those trivia and information amazing? They sure do contributed an undying influence that shapes the manners and behaviors of Filipinos. Promoting cultures and developing such advancements that shares the identity of what is a Filipino. For the truth of this matter, this doesn't show an inferior or superior influence, but it is an opportunity for us to have the understanding to how they influence towards us to have a unified function. This is Jose Angelo Grisman. Thank you very much for watching, and sayonara.